Hey guys, and welcome back to a new episode on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the newly revealed ARMS character for Smash. Well, I mean, at least the fact that we're getting an ARMS character for Smash. Now, ARMS has a lot of characters you can choose from Springman, Ribbon Girl, Ninjara, Master Mummy, and even Min Min, that are some of the original cast. Now, with these characters, people keep thinking that we're going to get different alts for each skin, but each of the characters already have skins of their own. For example, Springman, even though we do think Tron could be a good alternate choice for him, we do probably think that if Springman gets selected, we'll probably get Tron as the replacement assist trophy. But in regards to which character it's going to be, it's kind of hard to say since every character will be pretty good as a fighter, but who can really represent all the ARMS characters in Smash? Especially since we have over 15 characters to choose from, but almost half of them are either from the original game and the rest are DLC. So I'm thinking the DLC won't be selected, even though personally I love Dr. Coil and Lola Pop, but if it comes down to it, I definitely think that Min Min is going to be the choice. People also want Twin Tail, but don't think she'll be viable because she doesn't use her arms as her, main weapons. It's her hair. But if she pretty much just, stays like this, crossed arm, just like her stance, I think it'll still work. There's a few characters who I don't think use their hands to play in different games and stuff like that. So I think if they do this, Twin Tail could possibly play just like every other character. Just keep her arms crossed and let her hair do the work. But even though I like different characters, to me, I think Min Min is the most viable. She's definitely the most popular, and she's actually my original main in the game. And I say original because I definitely try other characters out. Like, I'm good with Twin Tail, I'm good with Dr. Coil, Lola Pop. A lot of the female characters really excel in this game just because they're fast, have good abilities, while the guys have more quirky stuff to them, Definitely, I think the least likely candidates are Master Mummy, just because of his size, and Mechanica, for the same reason. They're both heavy hitters and can do a lot of damage in Smash, and I think it might be cool to have a heavy as a DLC fighter, but heavies aren't really that good in the game overall, so that's why we're leaning towards the other characters as well. For Min Min, her unique ability is that she can counter different arms with her legs after she jumps, which can be used in Smash in unique ways, but we keep thinking that maybe they can mix and match each ability and give it to one fighter to represent the character, especially if they decide to do the hero route and then give them, each a skin. But as for Min Min, that's her special ability that's, can be integrated into one fighter. The other character that's a possibility is definitely Ribbon Girl. We only have her in Smash, not only as a spirit, but as a Mii costume, which doesn't really negate the fact that she can be a fighter. But I mean, for her, she is the female poster girl for the game, and so that way you can still have a big representation for ARMS and not have to change the Springman assist trophy. So for Ribbon Girl, she has a double jump, which I think makes sense with the whole Smash motif, since everybody does happen to have a double jump in the game. But I mean, even characters that don't usually double jump are given a specific double jump in Smash, so I don't think the double jump would be a hard thing to implement. In this case though, I guess you can say Ribbon Girl has an extra jump that can be used as a counter. So in this match in particular that you're seeing on screen, I don't really use it, but she can sort of bounce in midair or float, kind of like Peach. Maybe not like Peach, I think that's more like Twin Tail. So again, for her, I'm pretty sure that, having the double jump ability is something that the character will have anyway, so they'll probably have to maybe just use a different type of ability. because I wouldn't say it's useless, but it's already in the game. But speaking of abilities, people are saying that it can't be Springman because obviously he's already an assist trophy and he's kind of like the most basic character in the game. His ability is after you charge up, you can kind of block or counter arms with kind of like a willpower. And he also has kind of like a Lucario ability where the weaker he is, the stronger he gets, which can definitely be a really cool, motif because, maybe, you're up high percentage, you can kind of gain power because maybe, they can excel at reach but be a little bit weaker. I don't know, something to kind of balance the character. But I mean, assist trophies have become fighters before. We had the whole Little Mac turn into a fighter, but that was a little bit different because it was from one game to another, not from the same game. So we're still not sure if it's still possible. Like I said, if they do decide to put Springman as a character, then, they can easily switch his assist trophy to Tron if they wanted to. Because I feel like we could sacrifice Tron as a skin for an assist trophy so it could make sense. I mean, unless you make the assist trophy a different skin, either when Springman comes out or when, just in general, that way there's no confusion. But it's still kind of the same character, so you want to maybe have different characters, if you know what I mean. Like, because Tron, for him, he does have a special ability. After charging, he let out a big shockwave that kind of stuns the opponent. And, that could be a good ability to add for a regular fighter. But in the end, I think maybe we can give that to the assist trophy instead, kind of make it more viable. Because, I mean, even though Tron would be an obvious choice for an alternate skin or even an Echo fighter, I think he's better used as a assist trophy replacement. It's the same model. You can just go ahead and change the character, maybe even the voice, and you're pretty much good to go. There's nothing else you need to change in regards to the moveset or anything like that, because as you see here, this is exactly what the Springman assist trophy is doing, except the shockwave ability. But I mean, those are the top problems people keep having, because again, if they do go the hero route, we definitely know that the top 4 candidates are Springman, Ribbon Girl, Min Min, and Ninjara. They're the original 4. There's other characters that were in the original game, but again, because of their size, they probably won't make it in, or the way they look. Like I said, Master Mummy and Mechanica are big heavies, so they'll change hitbox and everything. And then I do believe Helix might have also been an OG character, but he's very skinny, very slippery. His ability is that he can kind of crouch down on the floor and be able to dodge attacks, but that would change the whole structure of the characters. So if they do decide to do skins for the characters, I do think it's the big 4. And again, the reason maybe Twin Tail wouldn't be picked is because the whole, the other characters use their arms and she uses her hair. But like I said, if you look right here, she has her arms crossed and and her hair is pretty much right out, just like hands. I think if she just stays like that, or even if she puts her hand on her hips like she's about to do now, she's still, she's literally, still fighting with her with her arms. She does have a specific ability that lets her kind of like float like Peach, but also slow down the arms. So it's like a Peach floating and Bayonetta witch time ability. And it's really helpful, honestly, because you can kind of like bait your opponent to punch you. You slow down, and that's why I, usually match different arms to be able to get around the opponent. For me, each character has a specific arm that's tailored to them, but the key thing that's, everybody's talking about is pretty much every character can swap out arms. Like, for example, I don't believe that electric bird arm is for her specifically. I might be wrong, because it's been a while since I played, but I usually tend to use a arm on my left hand that goes straight, and an arm that curves on my right, kind of like a right hook. So if someone's ever guarding, I'm able to, for example, get a swing around him. Like, for example, here, I'm able to take on 2 people because I'm able to avoid different attacks and get around the opponent. You might think that I'm in trouble right now, but I am pretty much an expert with arms, and I use my surroundings to my advantage. So I'm able to take out one opponent and then steer clear of, Springman's electrical arm here, because it's the one that'll cause me the most issue. And I'm able to kind of swing around him with my ability and then unleash my attacks. All of the fighters have the special burst as an ability, and while I do think it might be a good finisher, I think they could get a little bit more creative and kind of maybe do a sort of, again, hero final smash where each of the other ARM characters that weren't able to make it in kind of come in and help out, or like Persona. But either way, I think those are the top candidates. I would love Dr. Coyle in the game, because she, after I tried out in the DLC, she's one of my favorites. But she just, again, she's a DLC character, so unless she's maybe considered as an alternate color for one of the characters, I don't think she will fit in, especially with her special ability is a little more unique, which not only is she floating around the stage, she can also kind of like glide around, get the high ground against an opponent. She's also able to turn invisible after taking damage or charging up, which in Smash it's not really a viable option, because when we, for example, get hit by maybe Skull Kid or whoever it is that does the invisibility ability and makes everybody invisible, it's kind of hard to see. And plus, I mean, there's got to be a way to let me know as the player who's using the ability where I am, but at the same time not let the other player know. And I think it's kind of a hassle, because you're gonna have to maybe like what happens when you're playing in the same console. Like, everybody will know where I am, because if I know where I am, they'll know where I am. But again, so I don't think she will be able to kind of fit the category kind of to I guess showcase every character. But again, just like I said before, here I'm able to kind of, with my curve arm, go around her and avoid damage and take the win. So I don't know how they would do, for example, a curving arm in Smash Bros, since the game is 2D. So I'm thinking, unfortunately, they're gonna like stick to just straight arms right away. So instead of the curving arm, they might do the multiple shot arm, which I guess it won't matter. The same tactics you use in this game won't really help. In this match particularly, not only am I showcasing Lola Pop with her ability, she's able to guard and jump really high, but this fighter, for example, keeps guarding and has two arms that attack straight away. So obviously her tactic is to kind of guard and attack when I let my guard down, but not only would this not work since I know what she's doing, but the character I'm using particularly has both an advantage because she can get up high, and again I have two curved arms, which again is really not helping her out in this point. Lola Pop again has a different shape. She is thin just like the other original characters, but has a much bigger lower side. She's thick, but again I don't think it'll work, pretty much because she's a DLC, and you're not gonna make a DLC for a DLC. So that's why I think the rest of the 5 that were added won't be in the game. And again, this is probably the reason why they won't do Tron as a character, but they might do it as a assist trophy, but only because he's the best candidate. Because I wouldn't want them to maybe replace Springman for Ribbon Girl, because I think that's maybe a downgrade, because Ribbon Girl probably deserves to be a fighter as well. But other than that, I think, a lot of these characters just have too much personality to kind of be left in their own game. I know they're going to have an ARMS trial, and if you haven't played it already, please give it a try. This game is very fun. People say, it got boring after a while. I'm not going to lie, I haven't played this game in a long time. I'm obviously visiting it again because of the whole announcement, but I put well over 100 hours in the game, have a ton of the arms, all the characters unlocked. But I'd say where the game struggled the most was lack of content. The gameplay was fun, but this is like a traditional problem with fighting games when they start out. They do tons of mode, have a classic arcade mode style story mode, and that's fun maybe back in the old days, but now we need a story kind of to keep us busy. I mean, if it wasn't for that, games like Mortal Kombat 11 or Dragon Ball Fighters at the moment would also be dead, but they both benefited from having a story mode, and from getting not only updates with DLC, just like Smash for example, they at least have a more competitive scene. But those are games that, you know, are 2D classic styles, which I feel like definitely fits fighting games a lot better. But I think it depends how old you are. I've always been more keen on 3D fighters. Like for Dragon Ball FighterZ, I do have the game, but I hardly play it. As of me recording this video, I think I recently downloaded one of the new DLC fighters, but again, I don't really play the game. I'm more of a Dragon Ball Xenoverse fan, just because I grew up with 3D Dragon Ball. So that's why probably I'm more keen to maybe play ARMS than Mortal Kombat. But again, maybe if they do decide to make an ARMS 2, they could focus on a better story mode, because this game has tons of lore on how the characters got the arms and the world around them. So if they definitely maybe either bring out an update for a story mode, which I think they could still do, if they want to maybe get better sales for the game, they should focus on that. But in regards to Smash, what kind of movesets can we see regarding each of the ARM fighters? So again, the biggest thing we keep wondering is if this is going to be a Bowser Jr. situation where each character is a different character based on the skin, or if it's just going to be more like Hero, where we do get 4 different characters, and then each of those characters happen to get an additional skin that could probably represent maybe a different ARMS character, for example. I mean, overall, we got to look at, I guess, how they would work in Smash. Based on how the character is in their game, they'll definitely be a long reach character. Obviously before at the start, you know, Simon was the highest reaching character just because his chain not only reached pretty far but had tons of projectiles, but then got pretty much outranged by Byleth. But I still don't think that, you know, they'll try to maybe push how far he can go, because in the end, it's probably going to be a character that moves a little slow, and in the end, won't really benefit from a long-range attack. But there's tons of things we can do with all the characters. It's just the possibilities are endless now that we, you know, are talking about not only the ARMS characters, but who can possibly come in for the rest of the DLC. Will this all be Nintendo-based, or will we have a third-party rep? The last one was all third party up until the very end. I was excited about Byleth. For me, Banjo was the weakest. I don't know why this character got in Smash. He's not really relevant, but I guess you can say that about even ARMS, for example. I mean, I know it's newer, but it's not as popular. So in the end, you guys just tell me what your opinions are down below. You know, what characters would you like to see in this Fighter Pass? What characters, you know, are you happy with the ARMS characters? Who would you like to see of the ARMS cast? Let me know down below. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. All the links are in the description below. So yeah, other than that, be sure to stay safe, practice social distancing, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.